Okay, Will, 2 cents. I just wanted to show you kind of what we've all been thinking about here and how this would work if you were trying to build a recipe or the recipe that you're mentioning into Brewer's Friend. There's a lot that affects IBUs. You can see I have 45 IBUs here. Taking what Zambezi Special crunched out for you number-wise, right? If you had 45 IBUs and you wanted 30% of them here at the beginning of the boil, you wanted 30% to come here, which would be about 13 and a half IBUs, he said. 30% of your 45 IBUs would be about 13 and a half. Then the other was 9, and 13 and a half again, right? Because 20%, 20%, 30%. So, but what you have to understand here, though, is that this number here, this AA, plays a big role in this. And there's a lot of other things here that do as well. But I'll start with this number. You need to know what your alpha acid is because these, the Chinook hops, all these different hops, they all have different alpha acid ratings. Each year they're pulled from the vine. So, this year you could get one that has 11 alpha acids, and you can see my IBUs drop to 43. This drops to 11 and 0.41 IBUs, right? So then you'd have to increase the amount of grams that you add to get you back to that number, right? So 11 grams would get me probably back. Yeah, I'm a little closer, probably 10. You can see I'm a little over. This will probably put me a little under. So as it does. So, you have to look at the alpha acids, and these all change, as every year goes on. That they, pick the different hops. Each hop crop has a different alpha acid unit, the region, all of those different things. So you really have to look at the packages you're purchasing. So having the hops on hand and knowing their alpha acids will help us build a recipe for you better. You can see down here for the Cascade at 5.7 alpha acids, which is what I have on hand currently. That's 63 grams at a hop stand or your whirlpool, which is right at the end of the boil. You throw it in at 0 minutes. I assume you're going to whirlpool for a bit. You're going to only get about 5% utilization out of it, typically. So to get that 9 IBUs, I'd have to throw in 63 grams. And someone like Priceless or Uper could probably speak on this a little bit better. I tend to not really do a whole lot of whirlpooling or hop stands. They can get confusing depending on how much time you leave them and what temperature you leave them at. So another big thing that you have to think about is the amount of fermentables you have. You see my original gravity here, right? You can see right now I'm at 44.95 IBUs, and I have an original gravity of 1.059. Well, if that's not your original gravity and you have something closer to like 1.050, right? Here we are, 1.048. You can see now my IBUs have gone up because I have less fermentable, less sugar, so to speak, in the wort that you're boiling. So your IBUs have gone up. And you can see here too, if your pre-boil volume isn't 26 liters and instead you're starting with 24 liters, you're going to see this number change as well. Now we come back down. If you're boiling with 30 liters and trying to boil down, you're going to see it comes back up. This would be why I asked you to see the actual recipe, because there's a lot of things that are going to affect this IBU number, which is also going to affect the amount of grams you use, which is also going to affect a lot of different things. If you change the batch size, if you're not doing a 20-liter batch, you want 21 liters just to have 20 actual liters of wort, and say you're going to end up with a trub down at the bottom that's going to be about a liter. It probably wouldn't be that high, but let's say you did. You can see it changes numbers again. So all of these things play a role in your numbers and how you hit them. So we kind of need to know more about the recipe than I think what you've given us thus far. And I think too, you're going to have to really start trying to plug in the recipe into Brewer's Friend and see what you get. You can see these numbers I just did based on, I was watching this IBU count here, putting in my grams here. Obviously, this plays a role in it, like I said. And I was just punching in grams at different minutes, like you mentioned. I changed, boil to whirlpool here, which automatically brought me up a 5% utilization for like the hop stand. And I'm watching these numbers and playing with the grams until I hit that, that 30%, so to speak, that 13.5. Played with it until I hit the 9, etc. So hopefully this video helped kind of explain a few things about how the program works and how brewing in itself works and how all of these numbers, right, are interrelated. So hopefully that kind of helps explain why we need probably a little bit more information. And you're going to have to crunch some math to yourself or use the program to help you do that, which is what I enjoy doing. Anyway, thanks. Bye.